there is another cluster. So as because it will look into only the points which is nearby points, not the whole points. So like in single linkage, we see the within the all parallel distance which one is the minimum. So density-based clustering approach optimizes the local criteria. And DVScan density-based spatial clustering of application with noise. As you see, the name itself say there is a noise also, so it can work. So DVScan is very popular approach. Okay, first introduced in DVScan was introduced in 1996. Okay, and then there is many modifications or updates of this DVScan, but this is the golden algorithm, first algorithm in density-based approach. And this algorithm has many applications. I think more than 8,000 citation it has, and still people are using DVScan algorithm. Okay, so we'll look into how this clustering algorithm works. So DVScan is a density-based clustering method, as I said, which can find the arbitrary safe cluster. This is another density-based clustering algorithm has another advantage over traditional clustering method, let's say K-mean and others. Okay, it can find arbitrary safe cluster. K-mean only can find the spherical safe cluster. Okay, convex safe cluster. So here is one correction. Actually, a paper was published in SIGKDD, not in SIGMOD. SIGKDD is also one of the one data what is called is very popular data mining conference. If the cluster shape is like this one, it is very unlikely that traditional clustering method can find. But DVScan can find, or say density-based clustering can find this type of structure. And K-mean is like it's like a convex shape, or say let's say spherical kind of shape is very good for applying K-mean. But wherever we know that there is arbitrary shape cluster, there are arbitrary shape clusters, then obviously we should not apply K-mean or traditional clustering approach. If possible, we try with density-based clustering approach. So idea of this clustering approach is very simplified here. So in a data set, we have the set of points, right? That is called the data set. It has the set of points. What it is done, each point is classified into three categories. So each point in this point can have three any one of the three categories it should belong. So as you know that it does not have label. Okay, we are not using level information, but we will use some information, or they have used some statistics of each data point to identify whether point belongs to any one of these categories. One is called the core point, another is called the border point, another is called the noisy point. It's very simple idea, but really powerful and potential idea. Okay, so this point will be called the core point. When this point will be called core point? So if this point has a certain minimum number of points, this point has means within this neighbor of this point, there will be minimum number of points. Minimum, so let's say minimum is 4. So initially we fix it. So let's say minimum is 4. How do we fix it? That we'll see. So if any point is having nearby region, it has 4 number of points, then we'll say that point is a core point. Now, say this point region, it may be only this region, or it may be this region, or entire data set might be a region. So therefore, we have to define very precise way. What do you mean by the region, or what do you mean by the a point has a minimum number of points? So here we go. A hypersphere of radius epsilon centered at the point x, which point for which we want to identify the whether it is a core point or other points. A hypersphere of radius epsilon centered at the point x has more than a certain data points, then X is called the core points. So I repeat it here. Let's say I have a data set here and I want to identify whether this point has or this point is a core point or not. So what is the task? So I'll create a hypersphere in higher dimensional. In two-dimensional, I create a circle with a certain radius. So that is also input is given. So epsilon is known. Let's say mu and epsilon. So if the point with point centered, if you draw a sphere or circle in 2D, centered at the point epsilon and with centered at the point x and with a radius epsilon, and within this region, if it has, that is, minimum number of points, more than the minimum number of points, then the x is called the core point. So if the minimum is 4, so it is more than it is saying, so it should have, each point should have 5, or let's say if we define x as more than equal to the minimum number of points. So then if the point is having the 4 points, so then we'll say that point is the core point. So that means a point will be the core point if within the region. What is the region? So we'll draw a circle or hypersphere in higher dimension, and within the hypersphere it should have the threshold number of points, then that point is the core point. And then what is the border point? The point is not a core point, so that is obviously the border point is not a core point. The point x is called the border point if hypersphere has less than the minimum number of points. So it has not 4 number of points, it is lesser than 4 number of points. It can be 1, 2, 3 number of points, and that is not sufficient to be the border point. And there is a nearby core point. That means, so let's say this point, I want to identify this point, whether it is a core point or not. So we identify it is a core point. So if the point is core point, so obviously that point cannot be the border point, or that point cannot be the noisy point. So it is a like exclusive relation. So if a point is a core point, that cannot be the border point, or if a point is a border point, it cannot be the core point. So now I'll test it, this point. I'll draw a hypersphere and I'll count within the hypersphere how many number of points. Let's say it has 3 points and minimum point is threshold distance is 4. So obviously this point is not a core point. Whether this point is a border point, we have to check the statistics of these 2 points or these 3 points. Among these 3 points, if any one point is a core point.
Yes.
Sir, but for example, there are 2 clusters. Then for one cluster, a point could be a border point and could be core for the other cluster. So isn't that can be the case as well?
Okay, you just hold on your question. Okay. First, yeah, that is an interesting question. Okay. I think we have discussed that question later on. Okay. First, now we concentrate the core point, border point, and noisy point. Okay. We will see that part, but it is answer is not it is not possible. Okay. But a border point can be part of the 2 clusters. Okay, but core point cannot be. Okay, we'll see that later. Okay, we will not jump. Okay, we'll go slowly. Okay.
Yes.
First, we now concentrate to try to understand what is core point, border point, and noisy point. Then everything will be clear. The rest of the thing will be very simple.
What is the core point? Yes. If I draw again hypersphere within this region centered at this point, it has minimum number of points, then that is a core point. Then this point is called the border point. So a point is not a core point, that is fine, but I will see within the region of that point has any core point or not. If it has any core point, then only that point is called the border point. And then what is noisy point? The point is neither core point nor border point. That means I will count number of points and then number of point is lesser than 3, lesser than 4, so it is 2, so it may be the border point. Now I have to check this point. Again, I will draw a, let's say, circle here, and if it happens that this point is also not a core point, then I will go for checking for this point. This point is also not a core point. Then this point is actually noisy point. The concept is clear. So for each, we'll identify each point what is its class, whether it is a core point, border point, noisy point. So don't mix with the class level in the classification. So we classify each point into any one of the 3 categories. So we define these 3 categories. A point can be the core point if within the periphery it has more than minimum number of points, more than equal to minimum number of points. If it is not, it can be the border point. It does not have, but within the region, any point is having the more than threshold distance of point. That means any one of the point is a core point. And it does not satisfy any one of these 2 conditions, that is core point or border point. So the third point is the noisy point. So this is the basic concept of the DB scan. So now we'll give some definition, but
so here I want to mention one thing is instead of classifying, we can say it identifies each point into any one of the 3 categories, because if you mix with classification technique in the data mining, that is not the case. You can say we identify each point, or it identifies each point into any one of the 3 what is called as categories. Okay, again, this category is nothing to do with the classification technique. Okay, I think this is clear to you, right? Okay, having said that, we move to the next part.
Keeping those things in mind. So this is the base of the rest of the discussion. So this is one example. So minimum point is 4. So this point is a core point because it has 4 number of points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it should have the lesser equal to number of minimum points. So it can be minimum number of points, or it can have more than number of points. So this point is a core point. Now what happened to this point? So this point within the, so let's say this point, not this point, this point. This point has, excluding this point, it has 2 points. So 2, it is not fulfilling the minimum number of points. But happens that this point is a core point. So therefore, this point will be considered the border point. And now go to this point here. Within the periphery here, it has only single point. So obviously it cannot be the core point. And then within this periphery, let's say here, there is no other point. So this point cannot be also the core point. So therefore, this point will be the noisy point. Now we'll give some definition here. But definition is obviously is easy if you understand the earlier concept, that is core point, border point, and noisy point. Now we'll define something. Directly density reachable. A point or pattern or an object, Y is directly density reachable from another point or pattern if there is a distance between these 2 points is epsilon. That means in other way around, then, and X is a core point. Okay. So directly density reachable, this is very important. It should be less than epsilon, and X is a core point. So other way around. So if we identify whether this point is a core point or not, so what we do it, we draw a circle in 2D and sphere in a higher dimension, hypersphere in higher dimension. And obviously if it is a core point, we'll get the minimum number of points. Let's say it has 5 number of points. So all these 5 points will be the directly density reachable, because we know the distance of this radius is epsilon. Okay, so then it is saying the object Y is directly density reachable from the another point X. So this is X, and let's say all other points are Y. X is a core point. So therefore, core point to all other points within the neighbors or within the region, all points will be the directly density reachable. Next is not direct. What is missed here? Only the density reachable. What is the definition? It's, let's say y is a point here and then x is another point here. We'll say y is density reachable from x if there is a sequence of points where each point is directly density reachable from the others. That means if y will be density reachable from the point x, there should be a set of points, let's say x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, where each point will be directly density reachable from the other points. So that means x must be the core point, because if x1 is directly density reachable from x, so then what is the criteria? So x should be the core point. So if we draw it a region here from the point, so this is centered x, okay. So this is the centered x, and this point should be the directly density reachable. That means x1 should be within the hypersphere which is centered at the point x. It is not sufficient, and x should be the core point. And similarly, x2 also should be density reachable from x1. So x2 also should be density reachable from the x1. This is not sufficient. X3 also should be directly density reachable from the x2. X4 is also directly density reachable from x3. Similarly, x5 also directly density reachable from x4. And say another point, let's say x6 should be directly density reachable from x5, and y should be directly density reachable from x6. Then we can say y is density reachable from x. That means all the points x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and x6 all should be all must be the core point. Otherwise, it cannot be directly density reachable from the other points. But they are not talking about
Excuse me, sir?
the status of y.
Yes. Yes, question.
Sir, just a question. Yes, sir. Sir, inside a single hyperplane, so can there be two core points or only one?
No. It can be any number.
No. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is one example. Minimum, see, there should to be density reachable, there exists at least a core point. So these all points are core points, right? There may be multiple core points within in the periphery. Okay. Is it the answer is okay?
Yes, sir. And also, sir, in the statements that are written, pattern x and pattern y, they are the same as pointer x and point y, right?
Okay. Pattern is actually pattern means actually it is object. Okay.
Okay.
So here pattern is nothing but pattern is the synonym of point, object, or what to say, point, object, or any means which one we are dealing, right? So an entity, whatever you can say. Okay. So let's say here pattern is nothing but a point in the n dimension. Okay. Okay, an object in n dimension. Object and pattern are synonym. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Y would not be the core point. Density reachable from x. That means all the points x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and x6 all must be the core point. Otherwise, it cannot be directly density reachable from the other points. But they are not talking about what is the status of y. Y need not be the core point, because y is directly density reachable. Y can be the core point also. It may be the core point, but it is not the necessary that y will be the core point. If the y is the border point also, that is also okay, because x6 is a core point, it is directly density reachable, y is directly density reachable, but y can be the border point. You got my point? So if I say y is density reachable from x, that indicates that x must be the core point. But what is the characteristics of y? Y can be the core point and y can be the border point also. Let's say I say x2 is the directly density, x2 is the density reachable from x, because we'll get a sequence of points, sequence length is 1, so x1 is a point we can reach from x1 to x to x1 and x1 to x2, so we can reach it. So there's a point y is density reachable from another point if there is a sequence of pattern. What is the sequence of pattern? So there is x1 and x1 to x2 is also a density reachable, and x2 happens to be a core point, but it not required to be the core point to be the density reachable. So therefore this relation is not, so we cannot say that x is density reachable from y. We can say y is density reachable from x, but we cannot say x is density reachable from y. Why? Because y may not be the core point. Because if you say some point is density reachable from other points, the point from where we say that must be the core point. Because we should have a sequence of points which are directly density reachable. Density reachable, directly density reachable from which point, that point must be the core point. So therefore this relation is not the symmetric. As you understand, the symmetric means if I say is y is density reachable from x, and similarly if I write it x is density reachable from y, so then only we can say this relation is symmetric. But we cannot say because y need not be the core point. But in this case, let's say from here to here and here to here, for this case we can say is this point is density reachable from here and this point is density reachable of y, because this is a core point also, this is a core point, but not in general we cannot say that this relation is symmetric. Now we'll move to the another definition. It's called density connected.
Is it okay? Did you understand this concept, density reachable? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, if you see the definition, here is starting, there should be a set of point x1, x2 to xn, but you have to say that such that xi plus 1 is directly density reachable from xi. That means here the value I is 1 to n minus 1, not the up to n. Okay. So therefore y, the point, that last point or the point, one is say ki y is density reachable from x, y need not be the core point. Okay, because they are saying in set of points which in each point will be directly density reachable. So maybe x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 all apart from the last one. Last one also will be the density reachable, but to be density reachable there is no need to be the core point. As first definition says, y is directly density reachable from x. They are talking about only the point x. X is a core point. They are not talking anything about the y, whether y will be the border point or core point or a noisy point. Okay, so therefore y can be anything, but as you understand, so if the point is density reachable from x, that point cannot be the noisy point, so that point can be the so point y is directly density reachable from pattern x if it is within the epsilon distance and x is a core point. They are not talking about what should be the characteristics of y. So y can be the border point or anything else. Okay, so therefore when this definition said it's separate, yeah.
Actually, y can't be noisy point, I think.
Yes, that is I am saying. Why? Let me. Why it cannot be noisy point?
Because if y is noisy point, it can't have a core point in nearby, and for directly density reachable, we need a core point nearby, or for density reachable also we need a nearby core point.
No. Here what I say ki y is directly density reachable from an object x. Okay. So within the periphery of x, within the periphery of x, y is present. We are not talking about what is the characteristics of y. Okay. If within the periphery of this relation is not a symmetric. Okay. So therefore, if I say within the y, if you draw again the epsilon, obviously because x to y is within the epsilon, y to x also within the epsilon. Okay, because this point is also within the epsilon, so therefore, so y cannot be the noisy point. You got my point. Your explanation is not the thing. So why this is so? X to y. What is the distance from x to y within the epsilon? So therefore, y to x also will be the within the epsilon. So therefore, y and x, y may not have the sufficient number of points, but it has a core point. So therefore, y will be the border point, and y can also be the core point. Is it okay? So therefore, y cannot be the noisy point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you understood, next we move to the next definition.
Sir, one question.
Yes.
Sir, between like suppose that distance radius r, can two core points exist?
And within the
With distance is equal to the radius that we're taking, can two core points exist?
it can be any number within the epsilon. It can be any number of core point exist.
Okay,
Not
okay,
only
sir.
two. Not only two. Say if it is a dense region, okay, within the epsilon, okay. So if it is a dense to the cluster, okay. So therefore, so within the epsilon there may be always say minimum number of points. So each point can be the core point also.
Okay, sir.
So okay. So now we'll have a one more definition. Then yeah.
In this case, let's say from here to here and here to here. For this case, we can say is this point is density reachable from here, and this point is density reachable of y, because this is a core point also, this is a core point. But not in general, we cannot say that this relation is symmetric. Now we'll move to the another definition. It's called density connected. So two objects, pattern x is density connected from the y. Let's say we have a point x and we have another point y. Pattern x is density connected from y, so we can say is x is density connected from y. So x is density connected from y. So let's say I put mark here. So x is connected from y. Let's say we write it here because we already have written here. So we have point x. Pattern x is density connected from y if there is a pattern xc such that both x and y are density reachable from
So
x.
here pattern means object.
So 2 points are there, x and y. We say x is density connected from y. If there exists some point, let's say xc. From xc, both of them are density reachable. That means from xc there will be a sequence of point, and then you can reach x1 with this concept. So then must be the core point. Because density reachable means from which point, that point must be the core point. So there should be a point xc. So no need to mention xc is a core point. So that point is reachable from xc and y also reachable from xc. So here There will be one sequence, this is another sequence, and both the sequence here, both point x and y should be density reachable from the other point, that is xc. Xc is a core point. Then we will say is the x is a density connected from y. But similarly, we can say y is density connected from x, because same way, because there should be xc from where both the point are density connected. So this relation is symmetric, not this one. So this is not symmetric, but this is symmetric. So then, based on the core concept of the basic concept of the core point, border point, and noisy point, so we develop some definition to understand when we will say this set of points of the core point. One is density, directly density, another is density reachable, another is density connected. Now, when we will say a set of points is a cluster, here we go. So here some example, x and y both are density connected from the point xc. So here, so minimum point is here considered is 3. So xc is a core point, and then so all point is having minimum number of points, okay, and then y is density reachable from xc and x is density reachable from xc, and then therefore x and y is density connected, and this is a noisy point. Now, how do you define a set of point can form a cluster? Let's say in a region, we have a set of point here, we have a set of point here, and we have a set of point here. I said a set of points, right? So let's say I took some points from here, let's say point A and B. I put some point from here, C and D. I took some point E. That also a set of points, right? So then I have a set of points A, B, C, D, and E. As you see, these points are arbitrary we have taken, and then we'll say whether these set of points can form a cluster or not. Now we'll go when we'll say is the cluster. So a cluster is a subset of the entire data set. That means a group of points, any arbitrary group of points. We'll say that set of point is a cluster if it holds the following properties. What are those properties? You take any 2 points in that set, that should be density connected. What is the density connected? So there should be some point, core point, and from where both the points should be reachable. And number 2, if you consider any point within the cluster and if it is a core point, so you include the all points which are density reachable from X should be also in the cluster C. Now I consider A, B, C, D. Let's say A is a core point. Now then what is the condition? If X is a core point, then all points should be density reachable. So now can we reach from A to C? Because let's say we have a sequence A to B, and after to reach the point C, you have to come through the sparse region, and then sparse region point may not have the minimum number of points. Here we have seen there is no point itself, so it cannot be the core point, so you won't get the sequence of point to reach the point CD. So therefore this cannot form a cluster. So we can take any arbitrary set of points, but it must satisfy these 2 conditions. So if you take any point, that 2 points should be reachable from all other points. That means X and Y should be density connected. And if you get any one of the core points, all other points you can reach from the core point. Now here is the algorithm. So what is the task you have to do? So let X be a pattern in the data set, and you identify if X is a core point. So you identified, how do you identify whether X is a core point? You have to compute distance from X to the all other points, and you have to count whether, so how do you do it? So let's say X is a point and you have a threshold distance. What is the threshold distance? So epsilon. You count the all other points. Whenever the count is, let's say you count the, say you have a points here, and then patterns, you count distance from here to here, here to all other points. And you have to check the distance is less than epsilon, so then within this neighbor that point should be included. And it is, if it is more than minimum number of points, so it is a core point. So if x is a core point, then what do? Again, you take some other points within the epsilon, and again you start doing the same thing. Again you compute the distance, and again you find the epsilon neighbors. And the point which is already marked, let's say, then explore this epsilon neighbor in recursive manner and mark the point as a sin. So this is sin, and explore again, this is sin, and explore again, and then you keep on exploring the all other points in the same cluster. And then when you reach that point here, we obviously you reach a point is something called the border point, and within the epsilon, so you border point you reach from the some core point, right? And then you reach the border point, you explore, so you cannot go, you explore cannot go. So entirely you explore the all points in a clusters, but there may be some other point in the data set. Then you have to take other points and start doing the same thing. But because we don't know the which point will be the core point or which point will be the border point, so therefore it may happen that you started with the border point. So within the epsilon there is no sufficient number of points. Okay, but immediately you cannot declare this point is a noisy point. So let's say you started with a point, and within the epsilon it has only 2 points. So obviously this point is not going to be the core point, and it can be the noisy point also. But we don't know until unless we check these 2 points. And you cannot go from this point, because once you reach the border point, you don't explore the any of its neighbor. So then you leave it. This point is considered as a temporary noisy point, not the final noisy point. Now you may start exploring some other points, and another point. You reach this point. Now you identified this point is actually is a core point, and its neighbor is already marked, but that is noisy point. But actually it should be the border point. So that time you change the noisy point to the border point. So that is why at any stage, if any one of the neighbors is a border point, no need to explore the point, but include it into the cluster. So you cannot go, if you get the border point, you cannot explore its neighbor. And if x is neither core point nor the part of any cluster, then mark x as the sin and temporarily marked as noisy point. So as I said is just 2 minutes before, if you see this is not a core point, and you can, this is not a also cluster point, so temporarily you put at the noisy point. And after doing this one, finally you mark the temporarily mark the noisy point does not belongs to any cluster, then the point is declared a final noisy point.
So you have any query?
Sir, in the last part, there was this when we reach a border point, so when we do not explore more, we stop and include in the cluster. So what if when we start again from another point, another core point, and try creating second cluster, and in that case the border point actually forms a core point of the second cluster?
I didn't get, there is noise actually.
So for one cluster, when we're starting to create, we continue till we get to a border point, and we do not explore further. So after that, we'll continue the process for another cluster. Let's say from another point, we start collecting all the core points and continue. When we reach that same border point that previously we had classified, identified as cluster 1, if that border point actually has more number of neighbors and kind of forms a core point for other cluster, what do we do?
No. I think confusion. I think Onimesh also asked a similar type of question. Is it Onimesh the same question, or you have a different question?
Sir, same question, sir.
Yeah. Here actually see, you don't know, before exploring you don't know whether that point will be the core point or not. Okay, so you arbitrarily you start any one point. Okay, now what you do it, you find the distances, and then whenever the number of minimum distance, say minimum point threshold satisfies, so let's say 5, then no need for computing again the distances, and then you consider these points are the core point. Okay, but what you have to see within the epsilon, so yeah, I correct myself, is like you have to explore the all points. You have to compute distance from the point to the all points to know that what are the points within the epsilon. Okay, now let's say you got a core point, and obviously within the epsilon you have to explore the all points. Okay, so you start exploring one point, and then what you recursively again you go to the one point, so you are going in one direction. So again mark, so whenever, say let's say you are keeping in a, so it's a recursive call, right? So therefore when you ended up with a border point, so again you have to backtrack. Okay, and then again you have to backtrack, and then again you explore the other direction of the point. It's like you are keeping the points which are exploring, you are keeping in the stack, and then you are popping one by one. Okay, so then finally when you identify that you don't have any point, from there you can reach any other points. Okay, so then that will be the end of exploration for the particular cluster. Okay, now you take the another points. How do you get the another points? Obviously you are marking the which are forming the cluster as a sin or something like that, or marked or processed something, you mark it, and there will be some other points which are not seen or not marked. Again you start any one of the point and do the same thing. Now question is, if you reach a point, okay, which is a border point, obviously you cannot go beyond the border point. Okay, okay, and that point you include in a cluster, let's say C1. Now you start exploring some other points, and you ended up with another cluster C2, and within the C2 also you got a border point, and that border point is nothing but the border point of the other cluster. Okay, but what you need to do in that case, because that border point is already marked. Okay, so therefore you exclude that point from the newly formed cluster. Is it okay, or did you get, or I think I need board to explain otherwise. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. So it's like which cluster we are exploring first, that will get all the border first, and then which cluster we are exploring next, then it will get the border points which it will cover, like that. Hello.
Yeah, the answer is actually yes, no, both, because it depends how you have considered, because you use both the cases border point. So now question is the border point, or say when you define the core point, so it is independent of a cluster. When you initially define, we say is that it is independent of a cluster in a sense that points should have a minimum number of points within the epsilon region. Okay, so that is a core point. But when we talk about the border point, so again we refer with respect to the core point. Okay, so now question is, this point, actually one idea must be clear. So that is, see, you start exploring from a point, and that point must be the core point, and you reach a border point, you reach a point. Okay, you reach a point within the epsilon, you don't have sufficient number of points. Okay, so now what you do it, because it is a border point, you cannot explore its all neighbors, but it may happen one of the neighbors might be again core point which is not covered. Okay, which might be covered from the other direction, and that may be part of the other cluster. Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Is it sufficient answer, that Animesh and Chinmoy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think many of you may have the doubt if you keep on asking, because we have another 10 minutes. So maybe it will be clear one by one. So you keep on asking question if you have any doubt over it.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So in one class you have told like DBScan is the best algorithm for clustering. Sir, I want to know means why DBScan is best.
Okay, actually, see, based means studied with compared to them. Say DBScan is not based in today's scenario. There after DBScan it was introduced in 1996, and there are many more algorithms. So if those algorithm is much better than DBScan, only their paper will be accepted. Otherwise, it won't be accepted. Okay, that you know, right? So DBScan is based in a sense with compared to the with compared to the what is called is say K-mean and others. K-mean can only find the say spherical shape cluster. However, DBScan with a certain values of say with a suitable value of epsilon and minimum points, it can find up to some extent that arbitrary shape cluster. It is far better than the K-mean. Even the single linkage is very error prone, because there is no scope for single out the noisy point in case of the single linkage clustering. Ended up with a single cluster, but because the DBScan has the capability to identify the noisy point, so that will not ended up a single cluster if you have a suitable epsilon and the minimum points value. Okay. See, next time whatever another algorithm I will tell ki DBScan is not good. So that is like a, with respect to some other algorithm I am saying. If I say is the best algorithm, so maybe say till 1996, it is not best with compared to today's scenario. I think you must catch my point, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, like you told, like in K-means we have a problem to decide what the value of K.
Yes. So there is a here also, yes, nice point. Here also you have a problem of finding the epsilon and minimum points. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but that article published in that SIGKDD, so they have given the guideline. See, I don't have any problem for if you have a minimum say K values also we can provide. If someone give me the guideline how to find the value of K. Okay, if you know that one, then it is no issue. But epsilon and minimum point, they have given a guideline how to identify the point. But K-mean, they in general they don't say how to find the value of K. So nowadays people are only working how to find the value of K. Once you know the value of K, then you go with the K-mean. That is no issue. But K-mean has some different critical problem. Like K-mean cannot be used. Say let's say it will be used only the what is called is if noise is there, outlier is there, it cannot identify. And then shape is, you don't know the shape, whether it will be always spherical shape or it is arbitrary shape, you cannot use the DBScan. Sorry, you cannot use the K-mean, but DBScan can be used. Okay. So in that context, I said, so those are everything is fine, but I am concentrating for today's class, try to understand DBScan, especially the concept and the question raised by three guys. You need to understand what is the question and what is the solution. Okay. So very frequently, I think last 1-2 years, I used to ask the same question in the exam, right? So because while teaching exam is also one perspective, so therefore I am telling here, some point, say if you start from one point, so border point can be in a cluster, and then if you start from exploring from the other points, same border point may not be the part of the earlier cluster. So it depends on the how you start exploring. Okay.
Sir, one more thing, sir. In this method, sir, if there are noisy points, so they are not identified as a separate cluster and neither they're just ignored.
I again repeat.
Sir, like if in this case we have some noisy points that we do not classify, do not identify into any cluster, so they're
No.
just basically ignored and not.
They are not part of any cluster. They simply at the end we consider these are the noisy point.
Okay, sir.
Rajendra, do you? I think you asked some question. Did you get answer?
Yeah, yes, sir. Actually, one more question, like before applying the algorithm, we are not classifying each points as core points, border points, or noisy points, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because if we apply that, we have to like, we know that these are noisy points, then these will not be classified in any of the clusters. So we can directly remove them like that.
No. Yeah, you are right. While forming the cluster, we are identifying the point is a core point, noisy point, and so on.
Yeah, yes.
We are not pre-computed. Yeah, you are right.
Yes.
So if you don't have question, then we can stop. So in the next class, what we will see, even the DBScan has also the problem. Okay. So, but I think I don't know whether it is in the video or not. Otherwise, I need to discuss how to find the value of epsilon and the minimum point. Okay. And then if it is not, then I should discuss, and along with that, we'll see that DBScan also is having problem. In the next video, we'll see. Okay. So I stop for today's class. Okay then.